The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud.
Sunny Hostin, her husband accused of committing federal insurance fraud in a lawsuit.
The courtroom was dead silent, the air so heavy you could almost feel it choking everyone who dared to breathe. It was the kind of silence that wasn't just awkward. It was loud with tension, the walls practically vibrating with the weight of what had just unfolded. Once hailed as one of Manhattan's finest orthopedic surgeons, Emmanuel Hostin was now nothing but a shattered name in the medical world, a convicted felon sentenced to life behind bars. His downfall wasn't just a personal tragedy. It cracked open a scandal so massive it dragged his wife, the famous and fierce Sunny Hostin, straight into the hurricane.
According to the documents, he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgery.
It was almost impossible to process. Here was a man once seen as the pinnacle of class and achievement. Emmanuel operated on celebrities, politicians, the upper crust of society trusted him with their bodies and lives. But behind that polished smile and crisp white coat, prosecutors said, lurked something far darker. They painted a picture of greed so grotesque it made your skin crawl. Surgeries on patients who didn't even need them, fake billing schemes that drained insurance companies dry, and mountains of cash disguised as investments. This wasn't just criminal, it was diabolical. And Sunny, well, if Emmanuel's fall shocked the elite, Sunny's suspected involvement shattered the public's trust in her. Sunny had spent years building a brand as the no-nonsense, fearless moral compass of The View. To even think that she might have knowingly benefited from this circus of fraud, it felt like a punch to the gut for her fans. People couldn't help but ask, did Sunny know? And if she did, how much?
So we know Sunny Hostin and her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, are preparing for a legal battle to fight accusations that he committed federal insurance fraud.
Now, legally, Sunny wasn't officially named in the original RICO case, but public opinion didn't need an indictment to start judging. People whispered, no shouted online. How could someone as sharp, as on the ball as Sunny Hostin live in that level of luxury and not realize where the money was coming from? We're talking sprawling estates, designer wardrobes, trips and perks most people could only dream about. And now, every luxurious corner of that life was under a federal microscope. Investigators were diving deep into financial records, looking for even the slightest trace that Sunny might have been more than just an oblivious spouse.
And it's a very serious crime. In fact, it's one of the largest, if not the largest, RICO case in New York's history.
But it wasn't just about the money anymore. Sunny's entire image, her very essence, was crumbling. Social media exploded with fury, support, suspicion, and wild theories. Some diehard fans defended her fiercely. She's being crucified for her husband's sins, one tweeted, but others were ruthless. You don't live that life without asking questions, a brutal post read. And then came the rumors. Rumors that Sunny had quietly been making plans to flee to Canada just as the investigation tightened its grip around Emmanuel. Her reps denied it, of course, but once that seed of doubt was planted, there was no yanking it out. Even worse, federal agents had already moved in, freezing one of their swanky Manhattan properties. The feds weren't playing games. They were sending a loud, clear message. We're coming for everything.
He was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange.
The lawsuit itself, straight out of a true crime nightmare, Emmanuel wasn't just dabbling in fraud. He was accused of masterminding an operation with nearly 200 other defendants. It was all about exploiting New York's no-fault auto insurance system, a system meant to help accident victims get quick care, but that Emmanuel allegedly turned into his personal ATM. Minor injuries from fender benders? According to prosecutors, they became major medical emergencies requiring unnecessary surgeries. And American Transit, the insurance company, had mountains of paperwork they said proved the fraud.
Emmanuel denied the allegations via a statement through his lawyer, telling Daily Mail that his client, quote, denies each and every allegation and that the lawsuit is a blanket, scattershot, meritless lawsuit.
But wait, it gets even dirtier. Prosecutors claimed Emmanuel wasn't just cashing checks from surgeries. He actually owned a piece of the surgical centers where these operations took place. Every extra procedure meant extra cash in his pocket. And the investment dividends, they were nothing but dirty kickbacks. It was a goldmine built on human suffering. And Sunny initially had stood right by his side. Right after the lawsuit dropped, Sunny had rushed to her husband's defense, slamming the accusations as a greedy insurance company's ploy to duck paying up. This is about an insurance company trying to avoid responsibility, her statement snapped. But as the trial wore on and the evidence piled up, Sunny's voice voice grew quieter, and by the time the guilty verdict slammed down like a hammer, Sunny was gone, vanished from the courtroom and from public view.
And Caroline Leavitt isn't just making headlines, she's also rewriting history. At 27, the New Hampshire native has become the youngest White House press secretary ever.
Behind closed doors, it was chaos. Sources close to the couple described their household as a war zone. Sunny was reportedly livid, blaming Emmanuel for torching her hard-earned reputation. "She's supposed to be the moral compass of The View," one insider whispered. "This destroys everything she stands for." But not everyone believed Sunny was just an innocent casualty. Oh no. The rumor mill churned faster than ever, with whispers that Sunny wasn't just in the dark. Some speculated she might have actively helped launder some of the dirty money through her media ventures. It was pure speculation. But in today's brutal court of public opinion, speculation was all it took to light the fire. And then, the arrest rumors exploded. Multiple outlets hinted that federal agents were building a case against Sunny too. One that could lead to charges ranging from aiding and abetting to full-on conspiracy. And then came the jaw-dropper. Whispers that Sunny had gotten wind of it all and was planning a secret escape to Canada. It sounded outrageous. And yet somehow it felt all too believable.
Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures.
As the drama swirled, the pressure on The View grew unbearable. Could ABC really keep Sunny on the panel while all this darkness hovered around her? Would they be forced to kick her to the curb to save the show's credibility? ABC had already taken hits over some of Sunny's controversial on-air moments lately. This scandal was just gasoline on the fire. And if Sunny really was involved in her husband's crimes, it wasn't just her career in ruins. It was the entire integrity of The View at stake. But right now, all anyone could do was ask, what did Sunny know? When did she know it? Was she truly blindsided, or was she knee-deep in the whole rotten mess? And maybe the scariest question of all, how much deeper did this rabbit hole go? Because one thing was crystal clear. This story, it was far from over.
It does not look well when your name ends up with 200 people in a RICO investigation. This is the biggest investigation since Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there.
And just like that, the spotlight zeroed in on Sunny Hostin like a laser beam, exposing every flaw, every secret she thought she'd hidden away. Daytime TV runs on drama. The bigger the chaos, the more the audience eats it up. But this wasn't drama anymore. It was pure, unfiltered disaster. And Sunny was smack in the middle of the wreckage. The timing couldn't have been worse. While Sunny struggled to keep her world from collapsing, The View itself was teetering like a tower ready to fall. It wasn't just a powder keg anymore. It was a full-blown volcano, bubbling and ready to explode live on air at any second.
Say someplace that could really use a lot of cutting. You know, Elon has very many, what do you call it?
Government contracts.
Yeah. I think, because I don't remember, maybe y'all heard it, but I don't remember looking for an armored car. And I don't remember, I don't.
Behind the scenes, tensions were boiling over, especially between Sunny and her conservative co-host, Alyssa Farah Griffin. What started as spirited debates had mutated into brutal, bare-knuckle brawls. The interruptions, the glares, the muttered snipes. It was so ugly that even the normally unshakable Whoopi Goldberg had to jump in to cool things off more than once. But the drama wasn't just political anymore. It was personal. Insiders spilled that Alyssa was relishing Sunny's downfall, tired of Sunny's endless lectures and moral superiority. Now, with the scandal choking Sunny's credibility, Alyssa smelled blood in the water. And the cracks weren't hidden anymore. They were playing out in real time. Millions of viewers witnessing it all, jaws dropped. One especially brutal moment came when Sunny, mid-passionate monologue about systemic injustice, was cut off cold by Alyssa. "Let me stop you right there," she snapped. "You can't preach about integrity when your family is under federal investigation. It's hypocritical, and frankly, it's insulting." The audience audibly gasped. Sunny froze for half a beat, then fired back with an icy calm that could have frozen lava. "You don't get to question my integrity, Alyssa, not when you worked for the administration that built its brand on lies." Boom. A mic drop moment for the ages. But the damage was done. This wasn't just fiery TV anymore. This was open, festering war. And while the on-air fireworks were ratings gold, ABC's executives were sweating bullets. Emergency meetings were being called in a frenzy. Should they stand by Sunny, like they had with other controversial hosts in the past? Or was it time to cut her loose to save what was left of the show's battered reputation? The stakes? Higher than ever. The View wasn't just a talk show. It was a cultural battlefield. And right now, it was losing.
Yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay? Okay?
Oh.
Anywho, he took little X.
Funny. A little Instagram.
And it wasn't just Sunny's integrity being dragged through the mud anymore. It was her entire history. Critics gleefully dug up every old controversy they could find, using them like weapons. Remember when Sunny called white women who voted for Trump uneducated? Or when she compared America's treatment of black citizens to China's oppression of minorities? Each past comment was being waved like a bloody flag. Proof, critics argued, that Sunny had always been a hypocrite, hiding behind moral outrage while living off dirty money. The knives were out, and this time they weren't backing off.
You know what? X is an adorable name, and perhaps a grown woman who named herself Whoopi should refrain from mocking a 4-year-old for the name his parents gave him. Yes, Whoopi picked that name for herself. She's actually Karen Elaine Johnson. Now, how did Karen become Whoopi?
But Sunny wasn't without her loyal soldiers. Her fiercest defenders fought back just as hard, refusing to let her reputation be burned to ash without a battle. They hate her because she's fearless, one supporter tweeted, because she speaks truth to power, even when it makes people squirm. It was a powerful argument, but even among her most loyal fans, a gnawing unease was growing. If Sunny really had known about Emmanuel's crimes, or worse, if she had profited from them, what did that say about everything she had stood for all these years? Meanwhile, the rumors about her arrest were catching fire, fueled by shady tabloid headlines and cryptic blog posts. Sunny? She stayed silent, dead silent. No statements, no tearful denials, just absence. She missed several episodes of The View, and while the network claimed she was taking family time, nobody was buying it. Was ABC secretly suspending her? Was Sunny holed up somewhere plotting her next move? Either way, the optics were terrible, and every day she stayed silent, the questions got louder. If she was truly innocent, why wasn't she fighting?
Totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips.
I know it's just like twice a day.
But here's all I hear from her. America's violent, America's racist, America's bad. Okay.
And then, the final dagger came from someone no one expected, Whoopi Goldberg herself. For years, Whoopi had been the rock, the glue holding the often crazy world of The View together. She had defended controversial co-hosts before, she had shielded them when public pressure grew too fierce. But now, even Whoopi seemed done. During a heated panel about public accountability, Whoopi threw a bomb right onto Sunny's lap. It's easy to talk about doing the right thing when you're not the one under the microscope, but when it's your turn, that's when the truth comes out. The words hung in the air like poison. Sunny forced a tight, brittle smile, but the audience saw right through it. The message was clear. Even inside The View's inner circle, Sunny was losing allies fast. At the heart of all this, a bitter truth. Sunny's scandal wasn't just her own personal nightmare. It was becoming a mirror, reflecting the vicious, messy cultural wars that The View had always stirred up. Was Sunny the victim of a brutal system that punished outspoken women of color harsher than anyone else? Or was she just another fallen icon who preached virtue while secretly playing dirty? The truth, as always, was messy, complicated, but in the bloodthirsty arena of public opinion, nuance was dead. And here's where it gets even messier. Some insiders believe this whole scandal is being deliberately weaponized, not just against Sunny, but against The View itself. There are powerful people who have hated The View for years, one source whispered. They hate that it gives women, especially liberal women, a platform. If that's true, Sunny's downfall might not just be personal tragedy, it could be the bullet aimed straight at one of daytime television's most powerful platforms. But what do you think? Is Sunny Hostin being unfairly dragged through the mud? Or is there way more to this story than we know? And more importantly, what's going to happen to The View now? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because one thing's for sure, this drama, it's only getting started. Stay tuned, because this scandal is nowhere near finished. See you in the next one. See you in the next one.